Live from the heart of New York City, it's The Morning Show with Mike and Juliet. Wednesday. Inside the tricks they play that make you pay. What credit card companies don't tell you that can cost you thousands. And how you can fight them at their own game. And now, your hosts, Mike Jarek and Juliet Huddy.
Oh, how pretty.
Festive here on The Morning Show. Welcome
Adorable.
back. All right, here is a freaky statistic. Americans have about $900 billion worth of credit card debt. I'm sure you're one of them.
Me alone.
And that comes out to $2,200 per household.
Oh my God, over $2,000 per household. Adding to our misery, hidden charges costing us thousands more that the banks don't want you to know about. Watch this.
Credit card companies were grilled on Capitol Hill yesterday, under fire for jacking up interest rates, often without even notifying their customers of a change.
Claudette told me it did not matter whether or not I received the notification. The terms of my account had been changed, and I did not have any recourse at that point.
Knows exactly how.
Critics like Senator Carl Levin charge that this is just another example of abusive, confusing credit card practices, pushing people deeper into debt. But credit card companies obviously disagree.
Pricing in the credit card industry is based on the risk associated with each customer's account. It's not unlike the automobile insurance industry, where rates may go up if you have a traffic violation, move to a different state, or other factors change which increase the projected claims cost.
Here to explain what this means to us is financial expert Sanyika Calloway. Boyce.
We love you. And from Washington, D.C., spokesperson for Bank of America, one of the companies on the hot seat at yesterday's hearing, Larry DeRita. Larry, thanks for joining us.
A brave man. Thank you.
All right. Let's start with you. So credit card companies, we're getting our statements. I get so many things from my company, and I kind of like, sometimes I admit, sort of push it off to the side. I know what my bills
Are you at least opening the envelope now?
Yeah. But in these things that I'm pushing to the side are these notifications that my interest rates are going up.
Yes, they are.
And I think a lot of us are doing the same thing, right?
A lot of people are doing the same things, but you are being notified that there are changes to the way that your credit interest rates are being affected, and you need to be aware of that. You need to know what's going on.
You are being notified.
You are being notified.
Not noticing.
So basically what happens is, if you say have one credit card and you're paying that credit card on time, but there's another credit card that you've slipped behind payments with, you paid late, you might be in dispute with, a credit card company is saying, I have the right to look at your credit report, deem on your credit report that you have not paid another creditor on time or properly, and therefore I can consider you a credit risk. If I do that, then I can increase your interest payments.
But I'm going to say something freakish here.
Okay.
I kind of understand why that would be okay.
So no. Let me tell you why.
I didn't hold up my end of the bargain.
No. When you start with a credit card company, they have the right to look at your credit report. They should. That's the way that they determine whether you're credit worthy. After that point, as long as you're playing by the rules of their game with that particular credit card, it should not have anything to do with how you're paying another
other
creditor.
Credit card.
Larry DeRita, do you agree?
Well, first I want to thank Mike. I think he needs more credit cards. So if you do,
no, I don't need any more. I have a debit card, and that's it.
I do. I bank with Bank of America.
Terrific.
Don't try to suck up.
Do try to. It is important, as Saniqua said, that you have to read these notices. The notices, we do notify customers if there's been a change in how we assess the individual customer's risk. The first thing to keep in mind is that credit cards, as you said at the top of the segment, there's $900 billion in credit card debt. People have found great convenience in using credit cards, and there's really been an explosion, a democratization of access to credit. But it's a loan, and you're getting a loan, and you're carrying around 4 or 5 credit cards in your pocket. That's 4 or 5 loans.
Yes, okay, but Larry, you're getting that loan, and you're getting that loan understanding that the banks are looking at your credit report, and you are deeming them credit worthy at the time that you're granting them the loan. So those are the terms of the agreement that they should follow, or that you should continue to follow if I'm paying my bill on time.
Larry, you got 10 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, what we do is we look at each individual and we make an assessment based on that individual's activities. It's not based solely on one thing from a third party. That's just not the case. It's based on a variety of factors, including that individual's payment patterns, debt load, and things of that nature.
So, Larry, if we notice that our rate has increased, can we call you at Bank of America and say, hey, what's the deal here? I want to lower it again?
It's very important to be in touch with you. It's very important to be in touch with your credit card company. You'll get a notice, and if you disagree, you should call and say.
It's also important for us to understand.
Will you be flexible and help us out?
It's in nobody's interest to see people default on their credit. So the bank doesn't want that, the customer doesn't want it. There's a lot of ways to work out, but being in touch with the credit card company is a very important thing to be doing regularly.
I want to talk to you more. I want you to come up to New York here and join us in studio so we can sit down and ask you more about this. Because I'm a mess when it comes to all this.
But at least B of A came on the air. You know, it was very good to be a brave.
Thank you.
When we come back, Sanjika's going to stay with us. She reveals how to avoid hidden credit card fees. So if you notice you're up to about 30% in interest rates, she can help us out. Swipe my card. Hey, we are back talking about the fine print on your credit card contract that can wind making you so far in debt you'll be hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt by the end of it.
Sanjika Callaway Boyd back with us. So let's say you get your credit card, you look at your statement, you actually do see that your interest rate has been raised.
Yes.
You get on the phone, you call the company, Bank of America.
Well, you want to talk.
I don't want that rate.
You want to talk to them, and you want to let them know that you need to understand why your rate was increased, particularly if you have not had any penalties with that company. If it's something that didn't relate to that particular card and your rate is increased, get a clear explanation from them.
Can you usually talk yourself out of it?
Well, sometimes you can, but what I believe is that right now what's happening in Congress and what's happening in the Senate is we need to be contacting our representatives about this, because if it's not going to change, and we need to have it regulated, because it's something that is really an issue and most people don't understand it, and it's costing them thousands of dollars in unnecessary penalties and fees and interest.
It's one of those weird things. We're borrowing money from this company, but we hate that company at the same time.
Okay, so here's the caveat. Credit is not evil. It's necessary, but I believe that there's a way to have a better and a good and healthy relationship with it, and we need to both do our part.
See, I still don't believe in multiple cards, though. Just have one credit card in case you have to rent a car, and then the rest a debit card.
Well, I say that 2 credit cards make sense. 2 credit, or maybe a credit card and a charge card. So one where you have a balance that you get to pay off over time, and one that you're paying off on a regular basis. But in terms of store cards and things like that, you don't need them. They charge way too much interest. It's, you know, it's really legal loan sharking.
You really have to keep track, though, of your credit score.
You do.
That's important to do.
That's
you have to get
very
your credit
important.
reports.
Well, here's a couple of things that happened. In Congress, they passed a bill that you actually get 1 complimentary of your copy of your credit report every calendar year.
Okay.
You go to annualcreditreport.com. This is the only place where you can truly get a no strings attached credit report.
Annualcreditreport.com.
Now get 1 from each of the credit reporting agencies. Don't get the 3-in-1. Get 1 from each of them, because each credit bureau could be reporting different information on you.
And can you call those credit report companies and talk them out of things that have been on there for 10 years?
Well, basically, it's called a dispute, and there's a proper process to get a dispute done, and they'll give you the information on how to do that.
Tips.
All right, more financial tips. Log on to our website, EmmaJShow.com. We have lots of good information on there, including my blog.
Let's talk about being honest in the bedroom.